Hey, welcome back to God's Glory and Men's Real Stories. I'm excited that you would join us today for another great episode. And to all those that are listening for the first time, hey, welcome and thank you for joining us. I want you to know that your story and what you may be going through, they matter here and you're not alone. So don't worry about anything. Don't worry about everything. Just know that whatever chapter you're in, God's still writing them and he's still with you. So sit back with the community that cares about you in hopes that you feel God's love as well as see God's glory in Men's Real Stories. So my special guest today has driven the same road a few of my guests took to get here from those North Carolina mountains to come and sit with me for a conversation I've been waiting to have for about a year now. Now, to frame this conversation, I met this brother as he was about to embark on one of the most important life-changing journeys for the first time of walking the path. And I could see it in his eyes that after that event, God had touched his heart. So I'm excited to hear his story for the first time with you all. So I'm welcoming our brother, Shawn Baker, to the episode. What's going on, brother?
What's up? How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, man. It's great to have you, man. I've been waiting for this for quite a while, man. I almost feel like I waited too long, man, because I feel like there were some things that were said. There were some moments where I was looking at you afterwards, and I'm like, oh, man. And you know what, to frame this conversation here, you know what, let's start off by letting you introduce yourself to my audience.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm Shawn Baker. I work at YMCA Camp Harrison, which is where me and Robert met. I've been walking the path since this past March. Known the path for a long time, just never walked it. So this is it's been a different year, and I can't wait to explain it more about, what kind of stuff has happened since then.
I can't wait to hear it.
I can give you more of a backstory also beforehand, just kind of what led up to it. So,
okay,
is that where you want to start? Or?
Well, you know what? Let me actually frame this to say that before we even I remember when I met you, and as I just said, I said I met you as you were about to embark on your journey, not knowing what to expect,
no idea.
You not knowing what you were going to encounter, like what this would look like, hey, I'm here.
Weirdly, I thought I did know, because I had worked y'all's group for 4 or 5 years before that. I had been at the shotgun range with this group, and I loved Mission Uprise. I loved when they showed up, and then it was a highlight of my time period at that. You guys came twice a year, so I knew in March and in October I was going to have a good time with a bunch of guys.
Right.
That's all I knew. I just knew you guys were here having a good time. I had no idea what, you sang worship songs in the dining hall. I saw that when I went to go eat.
Right.
That's it.
Right. So you knew outside of what you didn't see, you knew there was a bunch of men out here having a great time, out here, just enjoying life, out in the outdoors, hiking, shooting.
It looked like they were taking a break.
Right.
So
right. But you didn't know what all that entailed outside of just the activities you saw us doing.
That's right. And after going through it, I'm like, they weren't taking a break. They weren't. That was no break. There was a little rest, but there was no rest in the heart.
Right. Okay, so you can't just say that.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry.
It's like, wait a minute, they were taking a break, but they weren't taking a break. And that's so good because you're right. We were taking a break from the lives we lived down the mountain, but we weren't. It wasn't actually a break.
That's right.
And so without giving too many details for those who haven't come, because, I love that moment of when you came, you knew you were going to enjoy a good time. Yeah. You didn't know all the details, but you experienced a full weekend of spending time with a bunch of men.
That's right. Doing
things that, from the outside you look in and you're like, okay, they're just enjoying the outdoors, doing manly things. Mm-hmm. But as the weekend went on, what go ahead. I'm gonna let you just get into it. Well, because I'm sitting here I'm holding back, and I'm like, okay, where do I go? How do I frame this?
And so I met you at the clay shooting range a couple times, or the year or the fall before that we actually met. You came and did clay shooting. I'm pretty sure.
That's right, yeah.
And so we did that together, and then that March, I was at the clay shooting range with my dog, and I remember I was cleaning up or getting ready for that evening, or for that next day, and was just getting it ready so I didn't have to do it when we were in session, or have to leave session early or something. And you and your friends, you had two guys with you. I don't remember their names.
Yeah,
I remember exactly what they
Mike
looked like.
Mike and Jordan. Mike Jordan and I think it was Ken maybe. Mike Jordan and Ken.
Oh yeah,
yes,
yes,
3 of us.
that's right.
Four
And
of us.
it was you guys were starting to go on a waterfall hike, and my dog like found you guys before I saw you.
For sure.
And
yes,
I have a little Australian Shepherd. She's more bark than bite. I mean, she's never bit a person in her life, and she usually is best friends with everybody immediately. But I can understand the embrace. She's a little crazy. I get it.
right.
So they're walking up, and we just started having a conversation, and I don't remember what we were starting to talk about, but it was more of just like, who are you? Where are you from? What do you do? And then it got to, so what are you here for? And I'm glad you didn't say anything. I'm really glad you didn't say a single thing. And because it just made it better. But
and that's how I look at it every time I invite a man. I'm like, I don't say a lot. I just kind of like frame it to say, look, why don't you take a break from life for a little bit, invest some time in yourself, and come with me to the mountains. Let's go. Let's go and enjoy yourself. Let's do some things. Let's do some outdoors things that'll just make your heart come alive again. And I leave it at that because I know that if I say too much, then I'm taking away from an experience that he's about to like experience and be like, whoa.
Yeah, we're getting there. But after we had kind of talked, I was like, I'm dealing with this, but everything's fine. Everything's fine. Good to meet you. We talked for how long? An hour and a half, maybe 2 hours before, and you guys didn't even go on your hike.
Yeah. Trust me,
dinner.
the hike was right there. That was supposed to happen.
Yeah.
That what happened there was supposed to happen.
It was awesome. And, to meet those other guys too, where meeting them where they were, and then seeing them afterwards that was cool. But then we had dinner, and then that night it started, and Dan Horner stood up and opened my eyes to just a different world, man.
Yeah.
And, it was crazy. It was crazy, dude. So going through that week, I also remembered throughout the times I was working, seeing you guys in multiple like little groups.
Right.
Didn't know what that meant. Didn't know what it was. I was like, okay, they're just praying, hanging out, or they were by themselves reading, the Code of Silence stuff. And
right.
And so I wanted to be able to hang out with Victor, because Victor is the one who formally invited me the year before.
Okay.
At the shotgun range, him and a couple of those guys that were there, and he sat down and talked with me for a while after the adventure time, and he invited me to come to their campfire that evening, and I was like, okay, I feel part of it a little bit. Still didn't know what it was.
Right.
And so I was like, okay, yeah, can I just like choose my group leader? I want Victor. Like, can I do that? And I was like, no, you're with Philip Martin. I said, who? He's like, he's a little quiet, and I'm not great with quiet. I like someone who likes to talk and initiate. And he's like, you're with Philip. And I was like, okay, whatever. And it was just really awkward. Like I didn't go talk to anybody at the flagpoles. Like I didn't engage myself. I was kind of just like, you guys are in my space kind of thing, and I was kind of bummed. And then I found out I was also in a group with Boomer Mike, who
right,
who worked with me, and I was like kind of abrasive to that. And I was like, I don't want to be in the same group with Boomer, like
a guy who I have to see after this and like kind of knows him.
But I didn't realize what I was going to go through, and I also didn't look at Boomer the same way afterwards. And there was another guy named Andy Holcomb, and shout out to those guys, love those guys. But Philip started off that night with a great just opener and made us feel like our voices were going to be heard that night. And when I was told soft spoken, I was told a listener and someone that has been through a lot and can, give back and forth with you on that. Mm-hmm. That's all. That's what I got from it.
Right.
And so me and him got pretty close that week. I got sick. Unfortunately, the day you presented the poser, I missed your poser talk, the first one.
Oh,
Thankfully I got to say the second one, but I got sick that morning. I couldn't come, and so I just waited it out. And I remember after lunch, I was like, dude, there's no way I can miss something else. Like, that first night was great. I need to go and like do the whole I can't give myself an excuse again.
Right.
And finished it out. I don't want to give away too much, but there was a moment in time where there was some more eye-opening and some more like, revolution in my way of thinking and my thought process of things. And it was empowering and freeing and exciting. And I was absolutely jacked up on what was in front of me. I haven't told anybody this either, but a month before the whole thing, I have a roommate also named Chris. Me and him we had gone out to dinner with Jason and my friend Cole, and on the way back we were having discussion and debating, and we got home, started talking at the dinner table, just hanging out, talking. And I just told him, I said, man, I want to feel a part of something. I don't want to go to war, but I want to feel a part. I feel like I need to be a part of something. I need to feel like I need to be fighting for something. And for that, and then, for the Outpost to come up.
So that came afterwards.
And it was like, oh my God, I don't need to be, I'm drafted. I'm ready to go, baby. You know what I mean?
Right.
And the one quote that really stuck with me that first time was, God's not mad at you. He's mad with you.
Yeah.
Because we're on the same team. And then, when Victor this time around said, he's not adopting us. He's taking us back.
Yeah.
Because we were his.
Right.
We're not anybody else. We're his. And so that whole revolution in my mind of, all right, I'm a part of something. I'm called to be this warrior, this heart of the Lord, and all these things that come afterwards. And that was so enticing and something that I've been yearning for forever. Because I went to church. I saw the boring, monotonous, this sucks.
Yeah, doing this thing.
Yeah, here we
check,
go. Yeah,
Sunday,
right.
and know what time it is.
Right.
Where's my polo at?
It really does suck
Yeah.
to watch that. And I went through it, and man, to find out that there's something more, to be a part of more, because there is.
Yeah.
It's an unbelievable feeling, man.
I love how Patrick always frames it. He's like, it's man church. And it changes the way we look at church.
Yeah.
It changes the way we look at fellowship. It changes the way we realize how important our brothers are in all of this, how important community is in all of this. But it makes you realize, okay, God calls me to come alive.
Yeah.
And if I don't feel alive in a church setting, if I don't feel alive, then maybe there's something missing here.
Yeah.
And I even said it to your brother. By the way, Shawn's a twin. If you're thinking that you're looking at an old episode, this is not another episode. He's got a twin brother who's also sat down with me. But I remember telling your brother that sometimes we step out of situations and realize, like, wow, is this what it's supposed to be like?
It's our Matrix moment, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And so when you're reinserted, it's a matter of saying, okay, like, if my community, if my church organization or my church culture doesn't feel like it's setting me on fire or keeping my fire that I have now going, if I feel like every time I step in here, my fire starts to like flicker out, then it's a matter of me to starting to build that community here where people start to come alive.
Yeah.
And I realize I can't stay in a community of people that haven't come alive and are just like, oh yeah, it's Sunday.
No.
Hey brother, good to see you again. Okay, well, like, hey, welcome to church. Okay, man.
Yeah.
Like it now it's dry. It's like
sucks,
eating dry
man.
steak.
That sucks.
It does.
Stinks. That's not what we were made for, man.
No, for sure.
And that I had my Matrix moment. And so that first outpost opened the door, opened my eyes, all that. I was pulled out, and then afterwards I was put back in. and that was the hard part. I was everybody, you guys said it the best, man. The next couple months are going to feel great, but then it's going to get hard. Mm-hmm. You're going to start feeling the weight of the world. You're going to feel the enemy. You're going to feel it all. And I sure did. And I did not respond well. Or maybe I just responded like everybody else did, or I don't know. But from my experience, it was the first month and a half I was on fire, leaving that place, knowing that I had all these things. And I don't think I ever forgot that. It was more of this I gave in a little bit. I gave in afterwards and just went back to what it was. Mm-hmm. And that made it even harder. It was like, I know there was something better. I know that there's something there that's better. And I'm just like not putting in the work for it.
For sure.
Because it is work. There's some work aspects to it.
For sure.
But there's none of it's in vain. And that's where another piece came in from the second outpost was, what am I doing? I'm glad I'm free. I'm glad I'm all that. And I'm glad of what the Lord's said about me and what he's called me to be. What am I doing to uphold that bargain? What am I doing? He's done a lot for me. What am I doing for him?
Yeah.
And that was the second part. After the second outpost, that's been my thing now is what can I do to fulfill what he said about me? He's called me, or he has said that I am his. I am I'm chosen by him.
Right.
I have the heart of the warrior in me.
Yeah.
If I don't act like I have the heart of the warrior, if I don't do things that warriors do for God, then
yeah, you just sit
it's
on the
in vain. Yeah. I'm not sitting on the side. I like to start in the game, man. I don't like to watch the game. Man,
no, that's right.
Fourth down, 1 yard.
Put me in, coach.
Dude, the hell if I'm going to be on the sideline. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I know, and that's right.
That's where I get like more juice,
Right.
We're fighting.
For sure.
I'm fighting.
Yeah, no. And you know what? It's funny because there are a lot of people who recognize that they have a sword. They recognize they have a shield.
Yeah.
But I just don't want to fight.
And
and you know what? A good story that I think about is I think about how, like, when we go to battle, there are a lot of people who don't want to go to battle. Mm-hmm. And they know, okay, well, yeah, but I want to be a part of this. I want to be a part of this party. I want to be a part of this war. But I don't know if I have the heart to go to battle. And I recognize that, the thing is that life is a battle every day.
Yeah.
Every day.
Dude, I mean, yeah.
Am I wrong?
Do
you feel that life comes at you every day with a different battle? It's almost like, when can I get a break? Or when can I get a breath? And the thing is I've learned that a lot of us who feel like, when can I get a break? When can I get a breath? The thing is we're not taking that breath. We're not sitting in the peace that God gives us in spite of the war that's going on around us. Because the thing is we always think that we have to be fighting instead of realizing that he's fighting for us.
Dude,
and we
come on.
like realizing that, like, okay, like, I felt like I had to keep swinging my sword, but I don't realize that, you know what? God has already won this war. I'm just out here
swinging
just
it air, man.
Yeah.
Swinging it air, dude. Oh man.
And so it's a matter of, like, realizing that no. Me and a friend were talking about Jonah the other day, and how, like, okay, like, when he was on the bottom of the ship and the storm was coming and it was raging, he was sleeping. Who better knew that, yeah, it's a war up there. It's a storm. I mean, like, people are praying. They're worried that we're about to all die. What am I doing?
Sleeping. Man.
Down here sleeping. Yeah. I'm down here just, like, kind of like relaxing. That, that's the second story that I remember in the Bible where a storm was raging, but somebody was sleeping.
Yeah.
And the other story was of Jesus. And I recognize that when you know that he's fighting for you, you can sleep. You can experience the peace that he provides, because you know that, man, look, he's already got this war.
Yeah.
But that doesn't change the fact that you wake up every day and there's a battle going on around you.
And man, that was just another one realization after the second one. I wanted to be a part of the battle. I'm in the battle now, and I gave up because I was fighting, because I felt like I needed to keep swinging the sword. Second go around, I realized, hey, I'm fighting on the same battlefield as the one who's already won.
Yeah.
He's already beat him.
Yeah.
I'm got the white flag. We're good.
Right.
But I'm still swinging at air for whatever reason, because I feel like I need to keep doing it. The pride and all that other stuff of not being enough, I think, was another part of it. And so when I finally realized that he's already beat it, or if he hasn't yet, I can easily just ask him.
Yeah.
And he can just intervene right there.
Yeah.
What am I doing?
Yeah.
And so that's what I did. I got some rocks, Robert, to lay down, brother. I got some stones to put away.
All right. Okay.
And I'm it's not done. I'm not done fighting every day, but there are two things that I've put to bed, man. And I'm telling you right now, pornography, that's a big one, guys. It will eat your brain, man. It is a sickness, and it's unfortunate that we battle with it every day.
Sure.
I asked the Lord to take care of that.
Mm-hmm.
I quit trying to fight it myself.
Yeah.
I quit trying to, do
That's
all
good.
that. And he took it. He took it, man. I have, since the outpost, I have not even thought about it, man.
My God. That's what I'm talking about.
It's the way he attacks me in those, or, thoughts, but it's over.
But so I like how you said that I was trying to fight.
Dude.
Like I was trying to like push it off.
In my ways.
Right. You were trying to like go cold turkey and doing it the way you wanted, instead of like, and you know what? I don't want you to feel bad, because I recognize that you said something of every time we wake up, we pick up our sword because we feel obligated to pick up our sword.
It's part of the uniform.
It's part of the uniform. Yeah. And carrying our sword doesn't mean that we have to use it
at all.
And so I recognize that a lot of times, if we don't seek God and go to him in the midst of it, when we start to feel it coming on, when we see a war in the distance, we sit there and we fight. We sit there and we wear ourselves out, only to realize in the midst of it, like, oh man, I think we're losing. You know what? Wow. I never even thought to seek God in this.
Yeah.
I never even thought to say, God, where are you at, Lord? You know what? Let me stop trying to do this in my strength and realize that your strength is far greater than mine.
Tenfold.
And so it's like I'm realizing more and more, especially as you just said it, it's our job, it's our obligation to sometimes remember that God has already gone before us. So in seeking him sometimes for something that's going to happen, like staying in the present moment, but seeking him, knowing that he's already gone before us into tomorrow, I can know that he's already doing great things for me. But that doesn't change the fact that as men, sometimes we feel like it's my duty to fight this war. Yeah. And if nobody else can't do it, it's my job to do it. And we overlook the fact that, no, God, I'm waking up and I'm going to do this with you today.
That's right.
And pornography is one. I'm so glad you said that, bro, because that's one that has held so many of us and just kind of like rocked us to sleep. It's been our pacifier for so long. And like you, that was one thing that I remember as I started to break away parts of me that I didn't like, that I hated about me. That was one thing that I remember telling God, that like, God, I need to see women the way you see them. I need you to take this cup away from me. This is one I'm tired of allowing it to constantly nurse me and cope with just the struggles and just the hard day by just running to my computer. And when God took that from me, when I say that, like you, I'm sure you
like that, dude.
Yeah. No,
like that, bro.
And it's funny because I don't want anybody to get it mistaken.
Yeah, it's hard.
There are days where I come back in this house,
yeah,
and I may be the first one home, or let's just say I work from home. The devil will definitely try to tempt me by being like,
"It's right there.
He's home. His computer's right there." I mean,
yeah, mine's in my sleep. I dream.
Oh,
I hate it.
Talk about it. Talk
I
about
can't
it.
stand it.
Okay, I'm so glad I'm not by myself here.
Go ahead. Shout out also to the group that I was with this past go around: Paul, Michael, and Kirk. Paul and I have been trying to keep up with each other the past couple months, and I remember when I quit, or when the Lord helped me quit. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
I started to dream way more and a lot more vivid. And I'm not a dreamer, and I definitely don't remember my dreams. But these past few months, like, I wake up and I'm mad. Like, I'm mad that I had those thoughts, but like, I can't control them. I'm dreaming.
Sure.
And that's just the way the enemy's getting after me. I know it, and I'm recognizing it. Man, before last March, dude, I wouldn't have even thought that way.
You know what? I'm so glad you're saying this, bro. I'm sitting over here trying to just calm myself, because if my wife was up here right now, man, she would tell you there's been mornings where I've woke up and I've been angry because I have gone, and I feel like most of my life I have not been much of a dreamer. I don't remember dreams. I wake up and I may have dreamed, but I don't remember them.
Yeah.
And at least they don't bother me.
Right.
But since giving up things, since turning away from things, since getting my life on the right path, since just turning away from who I used to be, I have never had dreams like I have now, where I recognize that the devil is using that time to really toy with me, to mess with me, to put thoughts, to put moments where I see things that I'm like, that's not who I am anymore. Yeah. And I thought that, and I know nothing is just me anymore, but sometimes you start to believe it's just me when nobody else is talking about it.
Right.
So nobody else here having dreams. All right,
I'm glad we relate on that.
Yeah. And it was so bad, because I know it's not who I am. I know it's not who I want to be, just like that. But there are moments where it's like, he's found the one time to try to get in my mind and try to convince me that this is what I want.
Yeah.
This is who I am.
Yeah.
When I wake up, just go ahead and go back to what you just saw, and it's like, but I'm not thinking this way. This is not my thoughts. Right. But it bothers me sometimes, and it reminds me of Saul. And if you remember in the Bible, he was tormented sometimes at nighttime. And I'm not going to say I'm tormented. I'm not going to say I wake up in cold sweats.
Not yet.
You're right. But I know that there is a battle going on for my mind when I am supposed to be sleeping, when I'm supposed to be experiencing rest. And there are times where, yes, my body's getting rest, but my mind wakes up where it was like, I'm trying to remind myself, that's not me. That's not who I am. That's not how I want to think.
Every morning, man. I even, I don't write it down most of the time. I just need to start writing down stuff better. But
speak of that, I'll just go ahead and throw this out there. If you have an iPhone, with the new update, they just recently added a journal. Did you see that?
Yeah, and I was like, I didn't download that.
Right. I said the same thing. Like, I didn't put that app on there. But you know what, though? Don't downplay the stuff that the tools they're giving us, because a lot of times you can look at that and be like, oh, well, look at that the same way I look at the clock.
Right.
Like, why do I need the clock app?
I also think of, I'm horrible at like writing stuff down.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as
with
my
that,
phone,
you can literally put it on and talk to text right into it, and you can talk about the things you're experiencing, because I realize how important that is, and how, like, in journaling, like you just said, it gives you time and it gives you the space to be able to look back 2 months and be like, he thought he had me back then, but I've overcome.
Yeah. Man, the dreams are killers right now, but I mean, I recognize it. I understand what it is. And that's the best part is, a year ago, I didn't. That's what this whole thing has been, just so, awakening for me, is I can comprehend everything right now with the enemy. And I know he's beating me in places right now, language-wise, and like my anger, I get so mad sometimes. And those are stuff that I have to fix, or excuse me. Those are things that I need to ask the Lord to help me with, to add on to all this other stuff. And so after the porn thing,
That was big, by the way.
That was
I don't
number
want to just go
one.
past
No, I
that.
know.
That was big.
And I'm
right
glad
there.
that was
So
my first.
congratulations.
That was the first one. And when that was taken away, then the realization of what God can actually do became aware in my eyes too. He revealed himself to me in those moments. You know, I can give up everything to him. What are you, you know, like I always heard that.
Right.
Leave your stuff here, follow me. You know, it's, that's good and all. I'll bring this with me though. You know, is that okay?
Right.
No, man, he took that away so quickly so quickly, not easily, but so quickly, that it made me realize he can take other things.
Sure.
And I dipped since I was 16 and dropped that like a bad hat, bro.
Oh, man.
One day.
Congrats,
dude,
bro.
and because I asked him, I was in the shower, man. I had my last one in, and I said, I just put it in the drain. I said, Lord, I'm done with this.
Yeah.
Take it, please.
Yeah.
It was like that, man.
You know, and it's funny how you talked about the white flag earlier. And I recognize how a lot of times people don't understand what the white flag is all about.
I love
when
the
it comes
symbolism,
to
bro.
surrendering.
That's my favorite symbol.
Okay,
it's so cool.
And you're literally sharing right now what that's all about. You're talking about how like I tried to give it up on my own, but eventually I had to surrender it to God and let him take it. Yeah. Let him work with me on it. And the surrender of it and knowing that, okay, like God's fighting alongside me. Mm-hmm. It's all about throwing up your white flag and saying, God, I can't. I tried to give it up. I tried my best. Yeah. I need your help with this. I need your strength with this. I need your power to help me along this path of walking away from this stuff and helping me as I walk away from it, because it's not an easy task. Mm-mm. We know how long it's held a lot of us.
I thought that one would hold me longer than all of it. You know, I was in love with it. Like porn, I could tell you that I didn't like it. Like I knew it was wrong. Mm-hmm. Dip, I loved it. You know what I mean? I loved what it did. I loved the feeling I had when I had one in. You know, it was a traditional after dinner thing. Like it was a part of my life all the time. Mm. And to realize it was a chain, it was something I didn't need. It was definitely health-wise not good for me. But it was something that like I thought of every day, and I shouldn't have. Like it was a constant, when am I going to have the next one? When am I going to have it? You know, if I run out, I need to go to the store now. I don't care what I'm doing.
It literally, so what you're saying is it literally became an idol.
Yeah.
It was an idol that you thought about. You thought about constantly. When I'm going back to it.
I had to.
And I know, I think it was Robert Madu one time. He talked about how like we don't realize we've made things idols because we're not bowing to them.
Right.
But if you look at it, when you think about it, if it calls your name, if it calls you to the urge, it's literally your idol calling you back to the idol, calling you back to worship it. And we don't look at it from that standpoint because we read these Bible stories and, oh, man, I'm never going to have a gold calf.
Right,
Why would I have a gold calf? Like, what? Like, God, you don't have to worry about anything. I'm not going to be bowing down to no gold calves. But it's like, and as we're saying that, we're literally sitting there like, so where's my dip at? Okay. Yeah, man, I ain't going to be bowing down to no gold calf. Or where's the computer at? Like, God, come on, I just need this one last, just to get me through the day. You want me to have this peaceful moment, right? You want me to be able to get good sleep tonight. I just need to go to the laptop, or I need to go. And we're talking about things that are like, that people can recognize, oh, that's probably not healthy. But like, let's not downplay and overlook the ones that people are like, I mean, I don't think there's a problem with my session with my car or with my wife. Yeah. You know, I mean, I love my wife. I put her on, she deserves to be on a pedestal.
Right.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Like, and I'm just curious, where on that pedestal have you put God? Because I mean, like, don't get me wrong. Of course your wife should be up there in your eyes. But if God's somewhere else, somewhere else, he's somewhere down. Your wife is your God now. And to some people, that's okay.
Yeah. And, man, the realization of what is secondary has also, just after the dip, it was like, oh, okay, everything else doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But, it truly doesn't. Like, this is what he can take away so easily, in a good way. That is so uplifting. It was so, oh, man, I felt like my yoke was pulled off my shoulders, finally.
Yeah, and, or your yoke was there,
sure,
but it seemed like it was a lot easier, a lot lighter now.
or I just, it was more of, all right, dude, here, you got it, dude. I can't keep doing this. So that was another turning point. So those two things are done. I'm done with it. But the Lord standing right in front of me, fighting that enemy for me. I can look to other things now. Like, what else do I need to clean up? You know that closet theory? How we're cleaning out closets?
Yeah.
I'm cleaning them out.
Nice.
I got the broom. I got the dustpan. I may be going in a couple other rooms, but I'm in there. I'm in the closet right now, and I feel like I was the that hoarder show. Like, everybody will bring the hoarder up something that they got, like the old newspaper. You want this?
Sure.
It's so important. It's not though. It's not though. There's nothing important about this newspaper.
I'm not laughing at them because I understand that a lot of people who have like a hoarding issue, it's another coping mechanism to deal with something that's whatever, whether it be a wound or whatever. So I'm not laughing at them, but I do find it just as funny that we're similar to them. It just doesn't look like hoarding,
right?
But it's our own.
It's
way
other
of
things,
for sure.
And my aunt was a hoarder. I'd say my grandma was like borderline, but it's like it's pulling teeth to get them to just. It's okay. You can let go of this object that's not worth anything at all. And so it felt like that for a long time until, the second outpost. And then afterwards it's like, yeah, dude, I don't need that. I don't need that right now. I don't need this at all. Or, and that's where the cleansing's coming through. It's January is great because it's a refresher of all things. You can restart the whole new year. And one thing that I know me and my family has always been just kind of had an issue with is food and how we view food, how we look at how we consume it, where we get it from, all those things. And one thought always just crosses my mind when I make decisions like this is, would a warrior do that? Would a warrior do this? Would a warrior watch porn? Would a warrior dip or have an addiction and be held back by something? Would a warrior eat junk food or fast food consistently or at all? Would a warrior abuse alcohol like I have in the past, or look at alcohol the same way I did in the past, Music. Would a warrior listen to that, or would a warrior want to relate to that? And so I'm trying to cleanse myself of those things because I'm a warrior and I need to act like one. And I need to, because that's what I'm called to be.
Yeah.
And I'm not sitting on the sideline. I'm not doing it.
I love it.
Yeah. And that's been kind of probably the biggest struggle I've had with all of this. Like, porn has been taken away like that, dip away like that. Food is hard.
For sure.
Because I feel like I'm trying to change a mindset on it. Because it can be good. Like, there's nothing wrong with food.
Oh yeah, flesh wants it. Really,
we need it.
Yeah,
we have to. We got to eat. And so
okay, I see why. I see why before we started this conversation, you were like, "Yeah, let's just hold that back." Like let's talk about this when we get to the table because it. So everything you've talked about, our flesh cries out for. And even though our flesh may not hold some of those things like dip, like pornography all day long, one thing our flesh is used to all day long, 3 to 5 times, is food.
Yeah.
And right now you're speaking to a guy who's on day 12 of a 21-day fast.
Oh, yeah, you're not eating.
Yeah, well, no,
okay.
I'm eating.
Okay.
But I'm eating the stuff that my flesh has never been like, oh, yeah, man, like, let's go and get that. Yeah. Let's go and eat that. That's awesome. Not ever has my flesh ever cried out for nuts, fruit, and vegetables, and that's it.
That's it.
Like if there's not a meat on this plate, you'll need to take this plate back.
Okay.
But right now, there are no meats in my diet.
Okay.
There is no dairy in my diet.
Okay.
There is, and when I say that, we were talking about this, come day 3, my flesh was losing its entire mind. Yeah. Like, I'm talking about going full-fledged crazy. Like it was going through breakdown. It was having a fit because it was used to having these things. It was used to getting these things. And I wasn't giving in.
Right.
I wasn't like there are times where, and I still do it. I'm downstairs. I'll open the pantry door. I'll look in there, and I'll close the door. And I'll be like, why are you doing this to yourself? And I open the door again, and I realize it's programming.
Yeah.
Right now, my body's like, you need to eat.
Yeah.
I'm opening a pantry door of stuff that I can't eat, and I'm
looking
closing it again. And I'm like, and I'll sit there and I'll do that a couple times.
Get the smells.
Not even the smell.
Okay.
It's the same way a lot of us are addicted to our phones.
Sure. Okay.
And we don't realize it, but our phone can literally be sitting on a table. We can be working on things, and all of a sudden, just programmably, and you lost an hour. Just scrolling, looking, whatever. You look up, you've lost an hour. You lost that hour. You can't get that hour back. But what just happened is, subconsciously, my phone called out to me. I answered it, even though there was no call on it. It didn't need to have a phone call or text message. It called out to me to say, hey, come, come and lose yourself in social media for a little bit. I go to it. I lose an hour. Can't get that hour back. And I realized that, wow, that's got a lot of control over me. Same with that pantry. That pantry, sometimes
It's got you.
It's got a control. I am programmed that when my stomach is like, you are hungry, I'm programmed to open that pantry door. I'll close it because I know there's nothing in there. But sure enough, my stomach, what does it do again? Hey, open the door, man. What you doing? I open the door. I'm like, what am I doing? There's nothing in here for me. I'll close it. But I am having a fight with what you've been fighting with. We're fighting these addictions that are causing us. Our flesh is saying, come on, man. We're talking about food here.
Yeah.
Like when did we turn away food? Let's not do this.
Yeah.
But I love the way you framed it.
And man, the biggest thing is, where do we find our satisfaction then? You know, that's where it ends. All those things that we've dealt with, we find little satisfaction, but we can get all the satisfaction in the Lord.
For sure. Okay, so help. So those that may be listening that are like, what satisfaction?
Right.
Like, what could that possibly look like? Like, bro, we're talking about turning down things that we've always gone to. Women, drugs and alcohol, whatever, materialistic things, whatever it may be, whatever your thing may be, gossiping. I mean, we can go all the way down in there. We can eat overeating, whatever it may be.
Sure.
But you're saying, okay, in giving away these things that my flesh is just like, oh man, that candy bar, that Snicker, it just made me feel so good. But you're saying, okay, like, so the Lord will give you or meet your desires when you surrender the ones that have kept you away from Him.
Right.
What does that look like for you? Because some may be like, bro, I don't see it. I can't imagine.
The best analogy I've got is so if you put yourself in a situation where you don't have a lot of money, you're kind of living paycheck to paycheck. Probably not a good thing, but
it's a life of a lot of us.
And so you got car insurance coming up in 3 days. Okay, you got maybe that amount of money left in your bank account plus $10. Okay, but you got PB&Js at home. You know, you getting a little hungry. You want to go get some, KFC, or you want to get some Taco Bell.
Right.
A little Moss,
Right.
But you could potentially just not be able to pay your car insurance. You got to have that, Right. And so finding satisfaction to me in this analogy is, we don't need that. We got PB&Js at home. I'm going to feel way better paying for that car insurance and having just a whole nother month of security in that than having this short little taco from Taco Bell because I'm tired of PB&Js.
It's just going to give you a momentary happiness.
That's right.
Momentary happiness.
It's also not good for you. Like, you know what I mean? It's Taco Bell.
Oh, no. Yeah, we can go all the way down in there.
Yeah, we can really make some layers about this, but I think that's where my brain is wired around it is, we got to give up some stuff to be able to live peacefully within our own mind and feel gratitude in the moment. I made it. I made it to this moment because I had help. I was satisfied in other moments throughout the week. Now I'm fully satisfied. I feel at peace.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just the best way I think I can put it. But,
no, and that's good, because I can even bridge off that to say, like, what you just described is a lifetime of peace and happiness. Because I don't like using the word happiness. I tell people that happiness, it sounds good. It's a word we've always used. I love the movie. I tell people I love the movie The Pursuit of Happiness.
I think a better word is contentment. And the reason why, because I think it's okay to be content.
For sure.
There are good moments in feeling content, like having all that you need. For
sure. Okay. But think about it. There are a lot of people that don't, that feel like after a while content is not enough. Like, I have been content with, like, just let's use your analogy.
Sure.
I can eat PB&Js for a while. I'm content with this. But what happens when I'm not content anymore? And I realize that a lot of times we're looking to God to provide contentment when he wants to provide us joy.
Okay.
And his joy is far greater than happiness, because joy, you can experience God's joy no matter what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
I just got laid off from my job. I don't know what's going to happen and how I'm going to pay that car insurance or eat now.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what, though? I'm joyful, because I know that God's already got this situation in his hands, and he's working this out for my good, regardless of how it looks. Now, don't get me wrong. It looks really scary right now. Matter of fact, I'm walking around the house and I'm turning off more lights than I normally do, because I don't want the power bill to get any higher than it already is. Yeah. But I know that I'm going to bed tonight, and I'm going to trust that God's going to work this out, and I'm going to experience his joy in the meantime. And that doesn't cost me anything. It doesn't require me to go and do something. I can know that I am good, and I can sit back and be joyful and be worried and be a little nervous, but know that I'm trusting God to work it out. And a lot of times people are like, but like God doesn't want you to worry. Oh, no, he doesn't. He wants you to know that he's got it worked out.
Right.
But we're humans also.
We're going to worry.
And the flesh that we have, the flesh, the mind, and everything working together, it creates a signal that sometimes says, I've never been in this space before. I don't know what this is like. Mm-hmm. But that's a lot of spaces we've been with God. Mm-hmm. And it's knowing that, okay, I can sit back and know that I'm okay. Yeah. Even though my body is telling me that, hey, bro, like, all right now, like, bills are coming. Right. You're really joyful right now. You're really unconcerned. So you got a lot of trust in someone you can't see. Someone that somebody said in the comments to me the other day, you guys are trusting somebody that's the same thing as Santa Claus. And I'm like, that's hilarious. Right. But the thing is that you feel like just because you can't see him or you've never walked with him, like hand in hand, and he's been right beside you, that he's Santa Claus to you. Yeah. But I recognize that we're walking with somebody that we've already seen work in our lives. Mm-hmm. We've already seen him.
The package was already left there at the Christmas tree, man. We're good. You know? He was there.
Like that. Yeah, I mean, he's already working it out. So you can't tell me after I've experienced it, after what you've experienced, that God's not doing something.
Yeah, man, things just don't happen. Come on. Like, go to a rehab center and tell them that. You know what I mean?
That's heavy. That's heavy,
dude.
Yeah,
things just happen. Come on.
Yeah, that's heavy. Yeah, I mean, like, but like I said, it requires people to get out of their logical mindset of saying, well, logically, this doesn't, the math doesn't math. Right. But it's like knowing that you can't tell me nothing. You can't tell you nothing based on what I'm giving these things up, but I know that not only am I giving these things up, but you should see what God is adding to my life in me surrendering these things. This wasn't just a one-sided deal here. I didn't even have to ask for it, and God knew what my heart's desires were. And so as I started surrendering things, as you started surrendering things, he started adding things to your life. Yep. He started using you in places that previous Shawn wouldn't have been the guy for.
No.
And you know, I know that you find yourself working at the camp. You find yourself constantly talking to kids.
Yeah.
How does this Shawn now show up in the lives of kids who are struggling with things and who are going to struggle with things that they don't even know about yet?
Well, for what I was thinking about this the other day, weirdly, me and Jason are like going under this oh, what can we do at camp that, how can we make camp way better? Because it will be. There was moments where I'm like, last year I was doing this. Like, here I am now with new life, new self, new everything. How am I going to approach all these situations? And I work more alongside with the staff than I do usually the kids through the summer. So I thought my first thing was, what am I going to do with these, how am I going to interact with these counselors? How am I going to interact with staff members that I've known for years and that have known me? And that's my challenge right now, is trying to figure out, how am I going to show them who I am now? How am I going to show them what God has done through me, and what they can do for themselves, and then to their kids after that.
Right.
Because it is a waterfall. So if I'm right, then I can treat them right, and then they can treat those kids right.
For sure.
And thankfully, old Shawn has dealt with counselors that did it right and wasn't getting poured in by me. They were getting whatever they needed and were helping out kids, way better than,
Right.
So it's now, how can I elevate it? How can I elevate them? How can I elevate myself to them and to them for those kids? And
right.
I don't know yet.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm looking for guidance from Jason. We just hired a new assistant director. His name's John Barry. He was a not a Y affiliate, but has been a pastor for multiple churches. So we're really looking forward to that, as far as we're getting poured into.
Right.
And he's our immediate supervisor, so we're really excited for that. And then Landry has been great. Landry's just busy, so we're trying to figure all that out. But
got it.
We're about to spend a whole week in Black Mountain next week, and with each other for a campfire conference, and it's just going to be complete bonding and figuring each other out and making plans for this.
Well, I
with
would
different perspectives. So
yeah, and I would definitely add, I recognize how sometimes when we step away to refresh ourselves, to be able to do that pouring that we are going to be doing, sometimes we get so in the weeds of like the paperwork. How's it going to run?
Right,
what it's going to, what are we going to present? That we miss those moments to see what God wants to say to us.
Yeah.
And how he wants to fill us up so that we can fill up his other sons and daughters that he's going to entrust us with. Because honestly, what he does every time kids show up at y'all's campgrounds, he hands you a shepherd's staff.
Yeah.
And he's saying that what I have done in your life now, I want you to pour out into their lives.
Right.
And so I recognize that a lot of times we go to these retreats and we get these great raw messages and we get this good information, and we miss an important piece where it's like, okay, God, what are you wanting to say to us? What are you wanting to do? Well, are we spending intentional time in your presence? Because we're in a new year, and this year God is consistently he spoke this to another person. It convicted me. And so, not that I'm trying to convict anybody else, but I recognize how important it is to my life that God can place a calling on our life. Mm-hmm. We can know that we're called to do something, and that God is using us in a mighty way. And while we're doing that, while we're going to work every day for God, we miss the most important piece. Yes, he put a calling on our life, but sometimes we're so focused on the calling that we forget about the time and the presence we spend with him.
Yeah.
And we know we're doing something great. And God's like, what happened to my son? What happened to the time we spend? What happened to you putting me first in the morning? What happened to you waking up and saying good morning and having morning conversations with me and giving me time to speak back? And understanding what I may want to do to you today so I can build you up and prepare you for what you're going to encounter today. And
I love it.
Sometimes it starts we'll start a day and we'll just go into and I'm guilty of this. Verse of the day. All right, cool. I got my Bible on. Cool. I'm out the door.
Yeah.
And I never sit there and say, God, what are you wanting to do today?
Yeah.
What are you trying to speak to me today? where do you want to use me today? How do you want me to pour into somebody today? Like, I want to be attentive. I want to be intentional. And know I'm saying all this while knowing, oh yeah, I got a calling. I know God is using me to speak into the hearts of men, to reach men, to reach men the way he reached me.
Right.
But I also recognize that, like, but he still wants that time with me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm his son.
For sure.
And so,
yeah,
you know,
there's been a lot of apologizing too for that. You know, I've been a disservice. I have been a disservice to people in my life, to colleagues, coworkers, to family, to friends. I have been a disservice because I haven't been all that I can be, because I haven't allowed God to work through me the way I need to surrender to him in those moments. You know, giving time for him to answer back. Get the verse of the day out of the way. We got to go, you know.
yeah,
I got to get back on my social media run here, you know.
Look, you got me on that one. That's me too.
I've had to learn how to pray. I thought I knew, you know, we can pray, I can listen, but I'm not praying. I've had to learn how to sit there and invite the Holy Spirit into the area and to sit there and wait for him for me to feel his presence. And when I do, that's when I pray. That's when I start to ask him or to thank him. And then it's let's wait. You know, I'm not going to hear it instantly, maybe that moment, but having time to like meditate in the moment, and it can be 3 minutes. You know what I mean? 3 minutes.
No, that's so good. And what you're doing and meditating.
Yeah.
There it is. Please say that loud for everybody in the back.
Being still.
Yeah. Yeah.
Being still.
Yeah. And that's so important, because imagine, okay, I'll give an analogy. I'll give it something so people can see it. I recognize that, like, if you're talking to me, Jason. Shawn, I'm sorry.
He did it.
God, I did it. Did you call that?
Nah, but I just knew it was coming. Come on.
Shawn, Jason, I'm sorry.
Jason, you heard that.
God. I tried my best not to do that this whole episode, but there it is.
That's all right.
I got it out the way. If I'm talking to you, and then you go to talk back to me, but I'm fidgeting, I'm doing things, I'm looking at stuff, and what does that say to you?
Yeah.
That what you're saying is not important.
Yeah, you're not paying
I'm not paying any attention to you. Most of us do that on the daily. Mm-hmm. We pray to God, like, come on, right now I'm in a pinch. Like, God, if you could just look out for me and really meet me where I'm at right now, Lord, I would really appreciate it, Lord. We thank you for this. And then what do we do next? All right, cool. Where's my phone? I got to get to work. Thank you, God. All right, I got to get to work. All right, okay, so look, I got to get to that meeting. Cool, I got to return that call. Like, I got to get over here. And there's no moment where we stop and we're just still for a moment.
Sit there with some, like, receiving. Sit there in a posture of receiving.
There it is.
When you sit there, when you make yourself like, okay, after I see these, I'm going to just sit here and act like I'm getting something.
There it is.
You know, and listen to what might come after that. You know, something might clarify for you.
There it is. And I love how you open your hands.
Dude, do it.
Because okay, so look. There's so much power in that. Because I watched you and I'm like, yo, there's so much power in opening your hands and releasing what you may be holding on tight to and saying, God, I'm ready to receive. I'm ready to receive. Like imagine God wanting to hand you down something and you have your hands open and say, God, I'm ready to receive it. I'm ready to receive it. I recognize that posture gives God the space to pour into you.
Take a breath. Lay there. Close your eyes. Whatever you got to do, man. Just take a posture in your mind of receiving.
Yeah.
I do it when I'm in bed, mainly is when I really get some good meditation time. Mm-hmm. So like when I first thought of that, I was like, man, do I need to like sit up? Do I need to like do the like get on my knees and whatever at the
it looks good, but like no,
man. When I laid down and I actually took a like breath in and out and just waited a second, called for the Holy Spirit, and really just prayed, and then sat there again for maybe half a minute. Man, it's changed everything.
Right. Well, what were you saying now? My son was at. You want some water? Okay, so look. You need some water. My son's here, part of the conversation now, and nowadays I like to include him in on sometimes. So I thought he was signaling me to say that he wanted to add to the conversation. He's actually just wanting my water, but
Peace thirst.
I would say that what you're saying, all of that stuff is so important, and it's so necessary. Like the meditation part, the being still and giving God the space, man. Those are huge parts. Like, which is why I've started a weekly scripture meditation thing on social media, because I recognize you can scroll and just be so absorbed, but sometimes we need to just stop and be still and pause for a second and meditate on some word, or meditate just so God can pour in. Yeah,
man, I'm telling you, man, these past few months, dude, it's been crazy. It has been divine. It's not real. Like it's real, but it's only happened because of one thing. Not because of me, not because the universe allowed it. It has truly been him taking a step into my life and me allowing it. And me finally just saying, yeah, all right, go ahead. Because I'm done. The year leading up to that first outpost was a very hard year, mentally and physically, on my body, on my mind. There were some dark thoughts, and there was a lot of sin, and there was there's a lot of regret looking back, and then March being able to open up and like change everything, look at it differently, and then this October like taking action on it now. I'm competent and I'm practicing. You know what I mean? Whatever those, you know what I'm talking about, the 4 pillars, like you can be incompetent and
right.
I'm working now, you know. I'm sharpening the knife. I'm sharpening the sword that I may never use, you know.
But I'm gonna have it. But you're gonna have
be ready.
it. It's important to have it.
Yeah.
It's a part of your armor.
Yeah. And dude, I like my whole visual part, like I love how men are just so drawn to movies. Like my visual part is not okay, so you know how in the Avengers end game, like they're all coming back from, you know, they're getting ready to fight Thanos for the last time.
Respawning.
Not so much Marvel style, but more like old school, like Troy style.
Right.
With, you know, and fighting that last battle. I can't tell you how fired up it's going to be to just watch the Lord decimate everything in his path when this is done. When the new world will be remade, like I'm on the winning side. I know where I'm going. There's no doubt. There's no question. And I'm going to be right there. I might not touch a thing, but I'm going to be there.
You're going to sit back and watch.
And I can't wait to banshee scream the whole way down. You know, whatever, dude. War, pain, everything, man. Dude.
Looking like on the side of, what was the movie that we all watched? Braveheart.
Yeah. God, man.
You gonna have a kilt on? You gonna have a kilt on?
That movie in itself, man, it gets me juiced up, and because it's the truth. It genuinely is the truth, and I hate that I have disserviced myself in not recognizing that truth. I've been piddle-padding with this religion because I was too prideful to just say, all right, there is something more and there's something better, and I need to just go ahead and give it up and go ahead and go with it. And when I finally did, I'm a part of it, and I feel a part of it, and everybody can be a part of it. There's no like ticket booth. And that's what held me back. And just to go all the way back of why it was so hard to give in was, you know, there was a lot of not feeling worthy enough. You know, I saw my brother work. Earlier. My twin brother, me and him are, you know, we're best friends from the womb, you know, and he has done a better job at being a hand for the Lord, and comparisons, you know, that's a thief of joy, you know. And so when I compared myself to him, I'm not good enough to be where he is. And he's got his church crew, and he's getting led, and he's getting spiritually fed, and he's telling me it, but like, yeah, whatever. I mean, like, you guys look bored. But in reality, I was looking through a stupid lens, and I'm glad that he told me one day, he said, I can't be your guy. I can't be your mentor. And I didn't ask him, but he was like, I just can't be it. I just want you to know that. Like, if you come asking, like, I'd love to help, but you're not going to listen to me because of this, you know, this comparison that you have.
Right.
And so when I finally realized that there is no better, like, he's not better. I am not allowing myself to be my full potential in this whole thing. And I'm not allowing myself to give up with the stuff. And then the Matrix pull out too, I didn't realize there was one, I was just
right. I mean, you've seen the movie. It was a cool movie. I didn't really know that was really the
I'm
case.
just sitting here still playing the game,
Sure.
But, man, the hell if I'm not worthy.
Yeah.
Or, maybe that, the hell if I'm not what I was called in the scripture,
Well, the thing is that we all look back to the Cain and Abel story. It wasn't that Cain wasn't worthy. It wasn't that he wasn't chosen and called. But like you just said, he allowed comparison. He allowed what he saw and how he felt about himself steal his joy. Mm-hmm. He then took things into his own hands. Yeah. And I believe that, like you said, comparison literally is a killer of joy. Mm-hmm. It takes our joy from us because we're looking at people, and I know I'm guilty of it. I do it. Wow. I do it a lot more than I should even now. I find myself sometimes looking at my own content, looking at my podcast, and wondering why it's not as good as this one, right. Or why it doesn't look like that. And I just thought about that, and I'm like, "Oh, here we go. Well, let's talk about it now, Rob." But like, I find myself overlooking what God's doing through this ministry because it may not look as crisp as that podcast. The background and everything doesn't look as cool as that one, or it's not getting the numbers that one's getting, and overlooking that God's doing a mighty thing here. He's doing a mighty thing through these men's
don't
stories.
undervalue yourself because he said things that, or he's called you greater things in that word. Facts. You know what I mean? Like that's unchangeable.
Right. But but the thing is that let's not negate the fact that it I'm not saying that what they're doing doesn't look good. Right. But what God has for me, he has for me. Mm-hmm. He wrote that story for them. That's not my story. Yeah.
And that's okay.
It's secondary. It's not
still.
your right.
It's still secondary. You know what I mean?
Well, you know what? He doesn't even want me on that path.
Right.
The thing is, it's just like with your brother. That's his path. And what he's doing through your brother, great things. But what he wants to do through you are great things. Will they look like your brothers? No. They'll be for you. Yeah. And I think that when we sit with that to realize that, what God wants to do through me or for me, it's for me. It may not look like all these other guys in the podcast industry or in the content creation industry, but he's doing a mighty thing. But the thing is that when I sit there in comparison for long, I stop creating content. I allow it to steal those times instead of just sitting there and giving what God has given me. I'm too busy sitting in the mine doesn't look like his. It's just like it done. I don't think I got the right lighting and bro, I fumbled that for too long, bro. I'm saying that right here, right now. I have fumbled that for too long. I can't allow comparison to steal my joy, even when I know God has a calling on my life, because we do. So, yeah, man, we're done with comparison, bro. Yeah. Right?
Gotta be. I am. It's over.
Yeah,
we're on the same team.
Yeah, for sure.
And I didn't look at it that way. I always thought we needed to be on different teams because we're always on the same team. I'm tired of being on. Me and Jason have been in the same womb together. We're in the same room together.
Always in my space, man.
Yeah. And now it was like he was doing something else, and I felt like I needed to do something else, and that's stupid. I should have been like, well, show me where you getting
rooting him on, bro. Yeah. Proud of you, man.
And so, like, the disservice I give to myself and those people, and I have thrown that in that fire, so I'm okay with. I've ate it.
Yeah,
I'm good.
Yeah,
it's what I'm doing now, and so I feel like now I'm in a place where I need to apologize for the future of like, hey, sorry, I'm going to be taking a second trying to figure myself out right now, like with the Lord. If I'm missing something, forgive me, work-wise. Like that's been on the forefront of my mind right now is I feel like I'm going to miss something at work because I'm too busy, trying to fix myself with the Lord right now. And me and Jason had a conversation about it yesterday. He was like, man, sometimes what's here, what's at work, and what's, somewhere else. Like you got to kind of compartmentalize but they're all going to kind of flow with each other, but you got to just kind of figure that out. And I'm like, well, I'm trying to figure that out.
Right.
And I'm apologizing in advance if I miss something, And
right,
so
right.
There's
room for that though.
Yeah.
There's room for that.
And things are slowing down. Like everything seems to be slowing down. It days are passing, but like yesterday I felt like it was already March, but we're only halfway through January. Okay.
Sure.
We got a month to get kind of camp ready. We got our first group the first weekend in March, and we got Mission Uprising, like all their stuff now. We got the well.
I know. I heard.
Dude, the first one, father-daughter camp, I think is that weekend.
I'll be there.
It's going to be dope.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
I don't know the content yet, so I'm going to figure that out also.
Yeah,
we got a month
hey,
and a half.
look,
Yeah,
I don't even need to know. I just
yeah.
know I'm coming. I'm going to have a great time with my daughter.
Dude.
Then later on, I'm coming back up to have a great time with my brothers.
2 weeks.
Then I'm coming back up to have a great time with my son.
Oh, father-son's coming,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, so all his information will be down below for you guys to check him out. Look at what they're doing up there at Camp Harrison. Check out some of the things that are going to be there.
Yeah.
Check it out for yourself.
Dude, the well, too. We're getting the well.
Oh yeah, no, I know. My wife is looking forward to it. Yeah. Oh yeah, right. No. It's we are fully engulfed in Mission Uprising and Carolina Outpost. Yeah. The two of those organizations, they are doing numbers. They are not numbers. They are doing wonders in our marriages, in our relationships, in our mother and fatherhood as we bond with our kids. They are doing great things all around, and then when they're not, you got Camp Harrison, who are taking their kids for a week and pouring into them and filling them up and sending them back home on fire. Yeah. So, dude, yo, man, I would love to get more information
on that too if you guys got any questions about it.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely all your information will be there, man. Sweet. Anything you want to leave us with today, man?
I think I got one more thing to kind of add on to kind of end piece.
Okay.
What I've been just dealing with and thinking about, and the life of singleness.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Like, look, we could build a whole episode right off that.
You said
we could build a whole episode right off that.
I'll try to be as brief with where my thought process is, but my love life has been definitely impure as far as what I've done with past relationships. Granted, I've only loved 2 women in my life, and I'm glad that I've not lived in the world of one-night stands and stuff like that. I never found the idea of why that was or not an okay thing, but like I just never found pleasure in that. It was more of, man, I wonder how she feels, or I want her to like me. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that never really happened, but definitely did not treat those relationships in an obedient way from the Lord. And that was something I learned this past outpost too, was, you're going to find a lot of things thrown at you and blessed when you're obedient. And, and then sometimes you're not, you might get blessed and you're not being obedient at all. You're just being blessed because the Lord loves you that way.
Or you can question where that blessing's coming from.
maybe, yeah. And so it's just, but that's to wrap the whole thing is I'm in a season of obedience. I'm trying to learn how to be obedient the best way I can. And one of those things is to view women differently. Like you said, with porn, I don't know if that's where my thought process was. I thought it was just more of simple gratification. But the viewing of women as far as how I should treat them, 1, sexually, but 2, the plan, letting the Lord work that relationship out.
Right. Being the center of it.
Right.
Yeah.
And finding a partner that knows what that is. And I'm not in any rush. And that's where a year before it was, I could get with whatever I want, just as long as we're reciprocating and I'm getting my validation from you, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I'm good, you're good. All right, let's keep going. But no, that's not what I'm called to be. That's not what is good for me. That is not what is good.
It's not lasting.
Yeah, it's not satisfying.
There it is.
And finding satisfaction in the Lord has helped bridge that gap of yearning for a partner.
Yeah.
And so I'm working on myself. I'm trying to, eat better, sleep better, not dip, not watch porn, not drink as much, all these things, because that's not what a warrior would do.
I love that.
But a warrior also wouldn't just go give his heart to anybody. And that's where I am trying to figure that out. It is, guarding my heart.
Man, but I mean, you gave a whole warrior's blueprint. First of all, I love how you said what warriors won't do, but I love how you added on a warrior won't just give his heart to anybody, because it clearly says in the Bible, guard your heart.
That's right.
For everything you do flows from it. And realizing how important it is to seek God, but put God at the center of what you're doing and always look to him, because sometimes we get so caught up in the idea of going from the single life to a relationship, and we're just so like quickly. And we're quick to give a heart that God breakable. Has set on the throne of
it is
to somebody else.
Breakable.
Yeah.
And it hurts, man. It is that pain I don't wish on anyone. Listen, I'm praying for you, brother, because it's gonna come. And it's unfortunate, but it's at the same time, that's a growing thing.
Don't tell him that. Come on, wait a minute. Oh my God! Look, at first, I thought you were talking to the men, but then you're talking to him. Yeah. Okay, like, sorry, man. But no. You're right. Yeah. But okay,
he's 15.
He is 15. But the thing is that at 15, imagine if I told you, "Hey, don't get a girlfriend. She's gonna break your heart."
Well, that's where I'm talking. Listen, you were seriously in one of the coolest perspectives. At 15, I was not like a troublemaker at all. It was just more of, I didn't understand what the hell was going on in church. I didn't know what was going on. So to have a front rear view of your dad talking to just countless men about their struggles and trying to relate and all that, and seeing like a visual of how men should talk to each other and how the Lord can like work with friendships and stuff, it's a blessing that, I mean, I'm sure you're not taking for granted at all. I just, man, the amount of knowledge you were gaining in this moment right now.
Just soaking it up. Not for me. I tell them all the time, like literally, you're getting a full master class. So look, do you want to add to that conversation of what he said?
You know what I mean? You don't have to read a book or nothing.
Because we've talked about this. Like add to it from a standpoint of like how, I'm sorry, let me turn your mic up. Yeah. How do you feel about knowing that in relationships there is that chance of heartbreak?
Yeah.
Okay. And I know me and him we've had this conversation, and sometimes he takes it, you take it as when I say things like from a standpoint of like, one day there could be the possibility of heartbreak. It's like, I don't want to think about that. Is that true? Okay. Okay.
It sucks.
Why? Well, and share with me, why is that?
Because it sucks, right? Because if I've been with someone for as long as I did, and they're not my wife anymore, that's just you know what I mean.
Like being with the person themselves, like is enough to, when they're going away, it's like, an attachment is gone, or something, a part of you is gone.
Yeah.
But
and at the same time, like you've already grown the attachment with that person for like say a year, and then they're like, it's not gonna work out, and then they're gone.
Yeah.
That whole year is just
It's like, what did I just do? Did I just waste my time? Yeah. When I don't think you wasted your time. It's more of like, man, that really hurt. I don't know if I can do that again. Can I spend another year trying to get to know somebody, give my heart out, and it to be just like.
But what is that though? Let's talk about what.
But no. Then the worst part is the next relationship you get in. I think you're trying to.
Compare it.
You're trying to find that person in that person.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, come on. Okay. Hey, okay. So like, wait. Okay, give it back to me. Okay. I would say that like, you just spoke facts there.
Yeah, for sure.
And both of what you guys talked about, from the fear of getting in another relationship because of what happened in the last relationship, and then getting in another relationship and looking for the last person in that relationship. both of those things are very unhealthy.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm saying that knowing that we've all done it. I've done it. And I recognize that when we do that, we're walking back into another relationship expecting that person to show up or expecting the same results in the next relationship instead of doing the work to heal from what happened in that last relationship. And I'm not talking about, oh, because it was your fault. No. It doesn't matter whose fault it was. You could have been the heartbreaker or the heartbroken. But when you allow whatever happened in that last relationship to be put in a bag and carried into future relationships, you don't have to look for the last person in this new relationship. You're taking the last person into this new relationship, and that last person is you. Like, you're going into the next relationship as the same person with the hurt. This next person didn't hurt your heart. They didn't break your heart yet, but you're already handling them like they did because of what the last person did. And you're looking for what broke your heart in the next person. Well, I want to recreate her. For what?
Yeah.
For what?
Yeah, my friend Cole, he would constantly say, "Hey man, guard your heart." Whenever I'd say something like stupid or inappropriate or something like, "Hey man, can you guard your heart?" I was like, I don't know what you mean by that. I didn't know what he meant.
Yeah.
And finding out, what it means changes everything.
Right.
So yeah, life of singleness right now.
Yeah.
That's
well, I love both of y'all. I love both of y'all's input because that I mean, we could literally have a whole episode just on that piece because I recognize how that really weighs on men, women, the life of singleness or going from relationship to singleness or going from singleness back into a relationship after being in something. And as men, it plays on us differently. Either sometimes we're carrying stuff that we shouldn't be into the next relationship, or we're walking into it as the same common denominator, expecting a different result, and continuously finding yourself saying things like, "I don't know why all these women are the same. I don't know why all these men are the same," and it's like, nah, it's not them.
Yeah,
it's you. Yeah. It's you, and it's gonna take you to stop and see that. Yeah, because
right, and so. To add on also is, the Lord will put people in your life when it's time, when it's his time, and I'm trying to spend the time that he's allowing me right now in this season to, I'm taking a cleanse too, food wise. It's not near as in depth as yours. But
you like to join me?
But I am counting calories like it's nobody's business. Right. And a friend of mine had told me to just write down everything you're eating, everything that you eat. Just write it down, because then you can look back at it and be like, "Oh, well, that's where I messed up today." Obviously, and I'm kind of like a scale freak. I like looking on a scale, but it's not like a game changer. It doesn't like hurt me. You know what I mean? I used to wrestle in high school, so we had to look at a scale every day. So it's not super detrimental to where I'm at, goal wise, but because I know it's going to take time. And that's the other thing. Slowing that down. It does not have to be a quick fix. I don't have to be fixed quickly. I can take time to, devote to this. And,
you owe it to yourself.
Yeah.
It's a process. I'll put it this way. I don't know how long it took you to get here, but sometimes people take a journey of 20 years and then expect to go back and do it in a day. Right. And it's like, no. Yeah, but it took you 20 years to get here. Like give yourself patience. Right. Like know that your journey back is going to be worth every step. Yeah. Because you'll be able to look back 2 days and be like, whoa, okay, there's a little, okay. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. Don't look at it as like, oh man, this sucks. Enjoy the journey.
And, at the end of this, I will be a warrior, or I am one.
You are a warrior,
I am one.
Bro. Okay, so let's, I was about to say,
I'm saying visually, like, I want to feel.
Nah, bro.
You know what I mean?
You listen to me. You are a warrior. Okay, so you know what? This might get me pulled right here. I'm just going to say it anyway. I don't know why it popped into my head, and know that I love you and everybody that's listening, but it just popped into my head. So, like, I'm going to throw it out there. They didn't make the game Angry Birds with all the same birds for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody plays a role in Angry Birds. From the little small green bird to the big red bird. All of them are warriors.
No, I hear you.
And everybody is important in the battle.
I want to feel comfortable too, though. You know.
Like, no. I'm not downplaying that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that if you don't love yourself how you are now,
right,
don't expect to love yourself later on if you make changes.
That's a learner one.
Yeah. So love yourself through the whole process. Know that you're worthy. Know that you matter. And know that, like, even in this right now, the process of this, you're still gorgeous.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. You're gorgeous.
I appreciate it.
I know that's weird for a man to say that you're handsome,
okay.
brother.
But
like I think we don't do that enough. And I know normally we don't look at it as, well, we don't have problems with looking at ourselves, but we do though. Let's not make it seem like we're not bothered sometimes by the way we look, whether we're small or whatever, because a lot of people think, well, yeah, but you bro, you don't even want to know the conversations me and my son have about like how we feel about our weight and being so small sometimes. And it would make other people like, are you serious? But sometimes people would say the same thing to you, like, bro, are you serious? And it's like, so we have to find that space to be in love with ourselves, regardless of the journey, and knowing that, okay, but I'm trying to change this, but I love me. I'm going to start off by loving me.
I got you
through the process.
That's a learner
because I love you just the way you are. I ain't that ain't changed, bro. Like when we met, bro, it was like, this is my brother now. Like you set me on fire, bro, with one line at the end of Outpost, bro. Matter of fact, you might as well leave us with that. You gonna leave us with that? Yeah, leave. You know, because bro, when I say that, bro, not only did you set me on fire, but bro, like it was so encouraging watching, not even being a part of your process, but watching how you came out on the other end. Yeah. Bro, hey, look, I cried because I sat there in the audience and I'm watching you and I'm like, yo, bro, he just gave me the war call, man. He just basically did the Captain America. What is it? Yeah. What is his line?
Avengers? No.
Like you literally got me off. You set me on fire, bro. So if you want to leave us with that, man, I would love to hear it, bro.
I can go ahead and give the credit to Philip Martin. So for the story of that, that first session, I got to turn my phone on.
No, it's all good.
But he is the one who gave it to me. He was telling me about one of his first sessions, and he had came to Camp Harrison after his first wife and him had divorced, and her new husband came in, and he was there with him, and of course there was like some anger and some frustration.
Wow,
from Philip and
Philip and his ex-wife's husband,
but the husband was like all love,
right?
So he was coming in, help, no problem, like we're good, and Philip had to humble himself a little bit and ask God for guidance and help with this situation for that weekend, and it was revealed to him, and that guy showed Philip this quote, and Philip kept it in his phone. It was a screensaver for years, and it was instantly his whole bad juju relationship with whatever was done. Him and that guy were good. No, everything was good.
Love that
because that guy also put away everything and was used by the Lord to help him out. It was crazy. That in itself was crazy. So he sent it to me, and he read it to me, and man, he got a little emotional, and that's what made it really sink in for me. But
sure, I got emotional hearing it.
Yeah, but this camera right here.
Yeah,
this is a war cry for anybody that's hurting, anybody that's not feeling worthy, that's not feeling a part of this, that has some glimmer of hope, that wants to find what we have, the freedom that we have, because we are free.
Yeah.
There are fights every day.
Yeah.
But we are free.
Yeah.
And it goes, the devil whispered in my ear, you are not strong enough to withstand the storm. Today I whispered back in the devil's ear, and I said, I am the storm.
Yeah.
I am the storm.
Yeah. Yeah. That was so powerful, man.
Enemy
because you man, like when I say I sat there and I was like, he sure enough has been whispering all kind of stuff to me, trying to tear me down, trying to tell me why am I here.
A long time.
And there's nothing like that moment when I turn back to him and say, I am the storm. Yeah, I am the storm. And don't you know that the battle's already won because my Father already secured it for me. Man, that
shove it right in his face, man.
Yeah. I love that, man.
Yeah. So,
bro, I appreciate you coming to sit with me today, man. This has been great. I like I said, I've been looking forward to this for about a year now. So I'm glad we finally got to sit here and talk about like just some of the things of what's been going on and what's been going on in your life. And glad my son was here to even add to the conversation because that was really good, man. I love having these conversations, which is why I knew I had to get my son a mic because sometimes we have deep conversations and I'm like, see, your words, they hold weight. What you're hearing in these conversations, they other people need to hear it because what you said, it matters to other people. There are grown men who feel like what you just said. And so so it's not just only me and Shawn can really add to a conversation and encourage somebody else. It's the things that you say that resonate with people. Like, I feel like what he just said. It's like, okay, all right, okay. See, he understands what I'm saying. He knows what I'm feeling. Yeah. But it's what comes from those conversations of what we feel, knowing that our feelings matter. But sometimes we need to filter them through what God's telling us about ourselves, what he's doing in our lives.
Dude, they'll drive up here. This weird too. This is great. He definitely put in my mind like to encourage those people that are at campfire or at Outpost. Like if you're right now thinking that you didn't do anything, that you haven't made an impact, you are looking at a product of the impact. The men that I've been with, like you guys helped this. You helped me get to where I am right now. You made an impact. You are worthy. You are meant for big things. Guys that feel like you haven't done that yet, or if you haven't gotten that recognition yet from somebody that definitely was helped by you, you helped somebody. Robert, you helped somebody with your poser speech every freaking time, man. Those rocks being laid down was something.
Yeah,
that was something, dude.
Oh yeah, I know. I felt it. I felt every bit of it,
and
rocked
it was
me to my core,
dude.
But I like you just said, I knew that what God was going to do with that, it was going to set some people free, and I witnessed. Sometimes we don't ever get to witness what God does with our stories and but man, like to witness people walking back up and being like, bro, I came up here. I thought I didn't know I was wounded. I was good.
Thank you.
And you literally just showed me how wounded I am, bro. And I needed to hear that. And so man, it's those moments, man. It's those moments, man.
I hope everybody that has been and is continuing to come to the Outpost understand that your story does matter.
Sure.
Hey,
story does matter.
God's glory in them. But you matter also. You yourself matter, and you have done a tremendous job with counseling and helping these men that keep coming up. And men that are watching that have not been, what are you waiting for?
What are you waiting for?
It's time.
We look, we couldn't talk about this whole thing and you sit back and be like, well, you
right.
If you haven't thought about, considered in this whole conversation, like what are they talking about and how can I experience it? Then it's
hey, man,
I need you to go ahead. You can go ahead and cut from us now if you want to, because we ain't gonna talk about that much more important stuff. Go ahead and type into your computer Carolina Outpost, and then open up another tab and type Mission Uprising. And depending on where you are in the U.S., you find you one of those sites, one of those places to go and to experience what we're talking about and allow it to change your life the way it's changed our lives. Man, because it's changed both of our lives.
I've seen men call themselves, some horrible things day one, but they come out of it,
man,
warriors.
Oh man,
warriors.
When I say that it will intervene on whatever you're going through. I don't care if it's suicidal ideations right now. I don't care if it's fighting or going through a divorce right now. I don't care if it's fighting with your kids. I don't care what it is. if you're struggling with life right now and you don't know where to turn or where to go to allow yourself to be able to face and confront what you're going through, there is no better space than places that like that Mission Uprising and Carolina Outpost have created for men to come along and gather and fellowship and to be set back on fire again and to go back down or go back home. I say go back down the mountain and see what God wants to do through them. So if you're thinking about it, if you're considering it, if you're kind of like, man, listen, take the time, make the investment.
Hey, if you've been and you haven't been back in a while,
where you been? I've been looking for you guys. I've been looking for you guys for sure. Yeah. You definitely need to come back.
The best guarantee policy I've ever seen. If you don't feel Jesus at all, that whole weekend, you can get your money back. But
for sure,
ain't nobody taking it up.
Dan has promised that, so I can promise you, if it happens, I'll give you your money back. But that's how certain I am about what you're going to experience there. Right. So, hey, thanks so much for everybody listening today. Thank y'all so much for hanging with us, bro. Thank you for coming, man.
Thank you,
brother. It's been a pleasure, man. I'm excited about just continuing to do life with you, man, and all our other brothers. Hey, thanks so much. We'll see you guys on the next episode. Love you guys.
We appreciate you listening today and hope that if you enjoyed this episode, you'll like and subscribe and also listen to past episodes. We hope to bring you great future content as well. Please comment your thoughts on this episode as well as leave any prayer requests below so that this community can pray alongside you. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Facebook at God's Glory in Men's Real Stories.
Brothers, we understand how the thoughts of even facing your own past and current story and the pain and hurt that come along with this is no easy task. But you're not alone, as you hear in these episodes. Nor has God forgotten you or left your side, as He's in it with you, fighting alongside you through the storms of life. He loves and has already forgiven you, no matter what you have done, and He wants a relationship with you. Your healing, freedom, and growth are important to God, and to us as well. Maybe you're considering giving up or need someone to talk to. Here are a few resources that already exist that we hope can shine a light into that dark place you're in. The National Suicide Prevention Lifeline number is 1-800-273-8255. If you need support but are not in crisis, consider reaching out to a warm line with individuals who would love to talk with you. Speaking to someone on these calls is typically free and confidential and run by people who understand what it's like to struggle in life. Find a local number by going to warmline.org.